That's good. That's good. What was that?
6 feet above ground. That's always good, right?
Yep, that's all you could ask for, right? Someone says, "What are you eating, Austin?" Oh, that's Mary.
I knew somebody was gonna say something. I stopped at McDonald's. Yes, I did.
Oh no! Don't
I
get
know.
me started.
Yeah, it was the fastest thing I could do because I was running through a bad part of like up the highway, and there wasn't anywhere to stop, and I had to stop and get something to eat because I knew I was going to be on here for an hour. Blah blah blah. So that's the deal.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Shame on you for that fast food. That's no good.
I know.
Mary called you out on it. It wasn't me.
Mary, was it Mary Chapman? Mary?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mary. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to take questions from the Facebook group. We got a lot of good ones. Everybody who wants their questions answered or they want some specific help on specific things, go ahead and drop it into the chat box, and we'll be happy to answer them. So what we're going to do is start off with these questions. Usually what I find is when we start off with questions that we get frequently in the email or the Facebook group, that kind of sparks conversation and sparks other questions that people might have who are on here right now but may not have them, readily available or are thinking about them currently. So let's get started. All right. We got a question from Renate. Has anyone used GetResponse? It's not so expensive as ClickFunnels. Probably get what you pay for. So for anybody that doesn't know, we use ClickFunnels to collect email addresses, basically collect leads for our product. So for anybody who's new right now, this might go over your head a little bit. We have a trainings in the members area that talk about ClickFunnels and what we do with it and all that stuff. So if this goes over your head because you're new, no problem. You'll get to that part in the training. But anyway, Renate, here's the thing. GetResponse and ClickFunnels are both different things, right? So ClickFunnels is a platform where you can build pages to collect email addresses, right? Or you could build the actual page. Where GetResponse is what you would tie to ClickFunnels to collect the email addresses, to store them in a database, right? So GetResponse is the same thing basically as like MailChimp, right? It's where you collect the email addresses. With that said, there are still plenty of options that are less expensive than ClickFunnels. For instance, one example is Lead Pages. Lead Pages is about a third of the cost of ClickFunnels, and it will definitely get the job done for what you're trying to do. That Lead Pages has been around forever, and they're totally reliable. Me and Austin have used them in the past with great success. We use ClickFunnels just because there's a lot of functionality that we use for other businesses, right? We can build pages, sales pages for products, pages to collect email addresses. Our members area for SPP is built on ClickFunnels. That's the reason why we use them and we like them the best. But there's plenty of other opportunities to use Lead Pages. There's also, what's that other one? Instapage, I think is the name of it. I don't know how much that one costs, but I think Lead Pages is probably the best bang for your buck. And then GetResponse or MailChimp or Aweber, all of those are the actual databases that collect the emails for you and store them. And then like GetResponse, Aweber, MailChimp is what will actually email the email out for you, right? It's kind of like your email service. So Austin, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, the only thing I would add is, and if are we feeding back a lot, is it too volume? How's the volume? I can't tell.
It's actually better than normal, actually.
That's shocking, right? Run down the highway. The GetResponse, Jeremy, does have the ability to create opt-in pages. It's not very good. They're a hybrid only in the context of like aweber.com. You can't create the landing pages. I would not recommend creating landing pages on GetResponse. I'll add this, guys, is that we have a GetResponse account and we have an Aweber account. We use both. Looking at our stats, we got a much better inboxing rate, deliverability rate.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit, but I knew what you were saying. Basically, Austin is saying that you get more of your emails delivered when you use Aweber over GetResponse. So I mean, we can make more training along this. Basically, with those different email services, sometimes emails can bounce, not get delivered to people, and different companies have different deliverability rates, and Aweber is probably the best out there. But anyway, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, GetResponse, you can actually build landing pages. They aren't pretty, or they aren't, like, I've never personally used them before. But I mean, if you're absolutely bootstrapping this, then it's an option, So at least you have an option to do it. What I would recommend in the future is like having lead pages and something like GetResponse or Aweber connected to each other. That would probably be the best way to do it. But it's like I always say, I would rather you get started with something than not get started at all. So if you want to get started and bootstrap that part of it, then just use GetResponse. That's totally fine. I mean, and just know that you can do better with like lead pages. Renate came back and said, "How can I outsource that? I hate it." Because Austin, you didn't. Last night, a part of my Periscope was about outsourcing and also like productivity and stuff. So I'm thinking that's what we were talking about. Outsource the stuff that you hate. So this is kind of a tie into that. Renate, there are plenty of places where you can get this outsourced. I mean, go to all the places that I talked about on the Periscope. You can sometimes even Fiverr will have people that could build these pages for you, and it's not somebody who knows what they're doing. It's not hard to do. I can understand, like, there's a learning curve, absolutely. So I understand your frustration. But you could absolutely go to Fiverr.com, Elance.com, Freelancer.com. And all of those places will have people for very cheap. Like, I bet you could find somebody to build it for you for between $10 and $20. That will build a landing page for you and hook everything up and make everything good to go. So yeah, if you hate it, you can go to Fiverr.com, Elance, Freelancer, and have someone do it for you. So that's the answer to that. And come back at me if you have any other questions about it. Go ahead, Austin.
The only thing I'll add to that is if you do outsource it, Renate, which I recommend you do, because you're gonna have to give the people access to your GetResponse account or whatever. After you're done with them,
yeah,
change your
that's
password.
totally true. Yeah, after okay. you're done with them, yeah, absolutely, change your password and all that stuff so that they can't get back into it. I see a lot of these green first day on Blabs. That's cool. So I want to say what's up to Susan. I don't know who My Best Homes is, and Sandy. So welcome. It's their first time on our Q&A, so welcome to that. All right. Next question comes from April. If you do a sale versus a coupon code, they don't have to put any sort of disclaimer in the review, right? Yeah, so what I said to this question, I actually responded to it already, but what I said is I would still have the disclaimer for family because there's still ways that they can connect family to you, even if it's not a coupon code. So they can go, one example is Amazon looks at like if you gifted that person something, if you bought something for them or sent them a gift via Amazon.com, they can track that and know that you have a relationship with that person. And that would be grounds to basically remove that review if there's not a disclaimer in it, right? So that's what I said was if it's family, then I would still do it. Otherwise, if it's a discount, if it's a sale that is available to anyone, then it's good, So Austin, you want to add to that? Perfect.
Yeah, all right. That's perfect.
And feel free, guys, to drop your questions in the chat box if you have any questions that you want us to address today. Let's see here. Got to find a couple in here. John asked, once your product hits the FBA doc, how long does it take to go live? So that's going to depend on the product, or it's and not on the product. It's going to depend on how busy Amazon is, and how many shipments they're taking in. So what I found is for the most part, if there's not any specific holidays or things like that are going to get in the way of this, then typically they could check your stuff in between 1 day and 2 days. If they are experiencing higher volume levels, if they are, it's a holiday or it's just a busier time than normal, then it's going to take a little bit extra time. But it usually doesn't take any longer than just a few days. So you want to add anything to that, Austin?
Yeah, what I'll add to that was John, right?
Yeah, John.
Yeah, John, what I would add to that is also know that Amazon's going to split up your inventory. They might send it to 3 warehouses. So you're getting checked in at 3 different warehouses. And when you look at your admin panel for the inventory being checked in, I call this flux, F-L-U-X. What I mean by that is that you might see inventory checked in, and it might actually be checked out or go into reserve status for a while. That's Amazon kind of moving your stuff around the warehouses. So don't start freaking out when you see, like, I had 25 units check in, and then now I got 21. They're showing 4 or 5 in reserve. Amazon is doing all this kind of internal processing, and ultimately all your units will get checked in. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. It looks like we got a couple in here, so let me check this out. Can you talk about? Okay, so somebody, I don't know who this is, Tana Doach or something like that. Can you talk about the ungating process, please? Okay, so here is our stance, current to date, right now for ungating. Oh, Norma Jean, how you doing, Norma? Sorry, I couldn't make that connection there, but good to see you. Anyway, here's our current situation for ungating. By the way, guys, I'm going to come out. I know it's not either one of Austin or I's fault, but I want to apologize on Amazon's behalf because they've just made it this weird thing. And what you got to understand is nobody can see this kind of stuff coming when Amazon just decides to be difficult with the ungating process. Nobody can see that coming, so we have to basically adapt as it comes forward, right? So regardless, I want to apologize for all the trouble that a few people have been having with getting ungated, and I know it's frustrating. I know it's a struggle. Just know that me and Austin are also in the same boat as you. A lot of you guys know that we're taking our coffee business to the next level and putting it on Amazon as well. We're doing this for obviously our benefit for our business, but also we want to give you guys an inside look at exactly how we're going to launch a product from A to Z and have that case study that you can actually follow exactly all of our strategies, right? So know that we're actually having the same issue with Amazon where we're already approved in automotive, obviously from the automotive business, health and personal care, and beauty. We're already approved in all of those from previous ungating attempts, but getting approved in even grocery gourmet food, which is what coffee would be under, we've experienced being denied a few times as well. So here's where we kind of sit as far as the ungating situation. Now, I'm going to give you 2 different things that we're trying. And one of these things was presented to us from a member. And it's going to sound strange or weird, but we're going to, at this point, anybody who's having trouble is willing to try anything, right? So we're going to give you absolutely, me and Austin are dedicated to continually research and find ways to get this done. And we're going to give you anything we got, no matter how weird it sounds. So here's the first option, the not so weird option. So the not so weird option, actually, Austin, I might have you go over the not so weird option since you made the video on it that's in the members area. So go ahead.
Yeah. So guys, everything Jeremy just said, here's what I'll add to that. Number 1, I made a 20-minute video on this, and it is in the members area right now. It is in module 5, and I can't remember what the title of it is, but there's all caps in the title. It's basically something about ungating method. So that is the method I'm about to go over. Okay, so at a baseline, here's what you got to remember. Always remember this about Amazon. Amazon can be a pain in the ass because they're big, bureaucratic, and all the things you heard us talk about. But Amazon, when it comes to all the people that are selling on their platform, Amazon is much more comfortable with. Are we feeding back, Jeremy?
You're fine. It's a little off, but it's still good.
Okay. Amazon is much more comfortable with the reseller scenario. What is a reseller? It means I go and buy a can of Pringles from a distributor, and I'm going to resell that can of Pringles. I want to make sure that everybody understands that versus, say, private labeling. Private labeling is I'm going to go buy it, put my own label on it, etc. Okay. With that set as a baseline, what we've come up with, and we got this method from some people that we truly, really, really respect. And we went to them and said, hey, what are y'all seeing? Because they have another big mastermind group, etc. And it's what we call the convenience store method. Yes, I know. You heard me right. Convenience store method. What this method is, it's in this video. It's basically a method where we tick off kind of the things that we know Amazon cares about. Amazon really, really is comfortable with the reseller method, people reselling other people's products. That's number one. Number two, remember when you're applying to get ungated in a category that is a gated category, you are applying to get ungated to sell in the category, not to sell a specific product. If like us, we're getting ungated to sell in coffee and gourmet food. Or no, I'm sorry, gourmet foods and whatever it's called. In Amazon's eyes, they're going to approve us to sell in that category. We're not being approved to sell coffee. I just want to make that sure that's clear. So this convenience store method is basically a method where you go in your local state and you find a convenience store reseller, wholesaler, distributor, and you basically get an account with them and you buy some product from them. You put it on 3 invoices, and those are the invoices you give to Amazon because Amazon is much more comfortable with resellers. That's the method, in a nutshell. Jeremy, you want to add anything on that?
Yeah, I'll add a couple of things. Number one, you don't have to buy an extraordinary amount of stuff. We've had people, for example, use the Texas. What's the Texas one called again? Something like Texas Butterfly. Weird thing like Texas that.
TexasJasmine.com, Texas-wholesale.com. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some people approved with using Texas Jasmine. And basically, I mean, you can get like $50 worth of stuff and just get it split up on. I mean, because if you got, for example, in grocery and gourmet foods that me and Austin are trying to get involved in, we can get. And I'm not saying we'd get this exact thing, but let's just say we got like Kit Kat bars or something like that, and we got like 25 Kit Kat bars, and we broke them up into 3 invoices and we submitted those. Like Austin said. That is, it's what Amazon wants to make sure of is that the supplier for the product is reputable, and it seems to me. I mean, to me, I can't even really see why they're making such a big hassle about it, and to take it a step further, why they're not informing people why it's becoming this big hassle. But number one, I'm very confident that this is going to subside and people are going to get approved. It could even be that Amazon's experiencing some higher volumes and they just need to slow things down for a minute. Who knows what it really is, but that's the first method. And Norma Jean says, can you give examples of these convenience stores, online stores? Yeah, so go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, again, Norma Jean, it's in the video in the members area. Everything is laid out. I go through it exactly step by step, so go watch the video. But here's how you would do it. You would go to Google, and you would literally type in convenience store wholesale your state. So like convenience store wholesale Texas, convenience store wholesale Arkansas, wherever state you live in, that's what you're looking for. And you're going to get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of listings. That's how you do it, Norma Jean. Go check out the video, but that's how you do it.
Yeah, so basically you want to find the ones, like for example, on Texas Jasmine, the only reason we know that is because obviously Austin is in Texas and we can use that one to get ungated, but because he can get an account for it. But anyway, on their website, they show that they supply these huge stores, right? These huge convenience stores. So they say supplier of blah, 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 like AM, PM. I'm not saying that's the exact one, but it's something like that. So when we see that kind of stuff, it shows us that, hey, if these people are supplying these big retailers convenience stores, then there's a better chance that Amazon is going to already know these suppliers and have them in their database. Because what's happening, guys, like Amazon has this little algorithm slash database type of deal where they're like running your supplier by their database, right? And if they can't match it up, then then they say, oh, we can't verify your supplier's address, and they're not going to go. We've already asked them, go look it up online and all this stuff. They're not going to go past their criteria that they've set themselves, which is go through their database and basically match it up. And if it's not there, then it's not there. It used to be different. They've had this database for a while, but it used to be that if they don't go through that, then, or if they can't find it in that database, they will go a step further to kind of just look it up and make sure you're good, and then go through with it. But what I've been finding is that they're not doing that anymore. But I think that using a big convenience store that is a known supplier to is one of the big ones, one of the prevalent well known ones that supply the well known stores. What quantity should I buy? I already found one. Oh, cool. Okay, so you don't have to get a lot of stuff. You just
less than $20. Again, it's in the video. Yeah. At less than $20.
Yeah, I haven't even watched the video yet. I know it's in there, but yeah. Go and reference that video, which that Austin made. I watched actually part of half of it, and it was pretty good. So just try to get. Basically, what they're looking for is, if you have seen Amazon's criteria, where they want to make sure that you have 3 invoices, they're split up between a week apart, and then they have more than 5 units on each one. As long as you're fitting that criteria, and then I would just pick the lowest priced thing that you can get away with for the category that you're specifically selling in. So remember, that product has to also match the category you're selling in. So for example, what's it called? For example, we're in grocery and gourmet foods. We have to pick a product that fits that category. If we buy Kit Kats and then we try to get ungated in health and personal care, it's not going to work, right? Sorry, Austin, we have products sitting, so I'm in a hurry. Yeah, no problem. We understand. We've been obviously Norma Jean and all of us have been talking about this, and we've been trying to help as best that we can. So already placing an order already. What was that?
I just said, yeah, that's cool. Totally. I get it.
Yeah. So no problem. No worries. All right. So that's the first method. Here's the second method. And we actually want to give a shout out to Kelly Ray, I think. Was it her?
It's escaping my, I think it is. Yeah. She commented on the Facebook post about it.
Yeah. I can't remember who exactly this was from, but I want to give a shout out to somebody in our group. I believe it was Kelly Ray or no, Mary Lee, right? Yeah, I think it was Mary Lee. Sorry. Apologize if I got the names wrong or mixed it up. But anyway, basically what she put in the group is that she was trying to get ungated for a month in beauty and was just getting the runaround from Amazon, wasn't getting anything done or going anywhere. And basically what she said was that she was on a vacation to Mexico or on a cruise or something like that, and she met an Amazon employee on the cruise. Like, go figure, right? So she met an Amazon employee on there and told them that she was having issues getting ungated in beauty. And I know this is going to sound like kind of off the wall a little bit, but basically what she was told by this Amazon employee was, if you get denied again, tell them that you're going to open up a Mayday or initiate a Mayday. Me and Austin are actually testing this out just because we want to make sure that it works. It worked for Mary Lee, I believe. It wasn't. I don't think it was Kelly Ray. I think it was Mary Lee. But But anyway, she basically wrote in her case. I'm assuming it was in her case that she had open, that she was going to open up a Mayday. She just said it. She didn't know what she was doing either. That's just what the Amazon employee had told her to do. And then she said that she got approved immediately for beauty. So, like I said, I'm not going to guarantee that works. It worked for Mary Lee. And you better believe me and Austin are going to try it, because, we're all about experimenting, and we want to have the information for you guys and make sure it was correct. Austin, go ahead.
Yeah, what I would add to that, Jeremy, in the nature of, guys, we're all about full disclosure, right? We opened that ticket. We used this method, this Mary Lee's and Mayday method, and it's been, Jeremy, 3 days? And we haven't heard anything. We've on purpose not called them to see if they've responded. They have not responded yet to the ticket. So just FYI, that's the full disclosure. Back to you, brother.
Yeah, I think we're going to actually call them today. I think what I'm going to do today, and I'll let everybody know this, and this is good. I know that people are getting frustrated by kind of sitting there. And by the way, guys, for anybody who's new and might be thinking, oh, shit, this ungating thing doesn't sound good. Well, first of all, if you want to sell in an ungated or in a gated category, then this is all brand new stuff that has just developed, where you have to kind of run around in circles to get ungated. But like I said, I'm an optimist. I believe that we're all going to get ungated and all of this stuff and be fine and laugh at this one day. But as an alternative, just to people who are brand new in this group, you don't have to sell in a gated category. So an example of some of the gated categories are beauty, health and personal care, grocery and gourmet foods. But there's also plenty of categories that are not, you don't need to get approval to sell in as well. So that's just an FYI. I know that there's people that want to sell in the gated categories, and there's some people that have ordered product already and stuff. And that's why we are going to war for you guys. And what I'm going to do is today I'm going to get on the phone with Amazon, and I'm just going to go to battle with them for a couple hours and just see what happens. I'm pretty confident in my convincing skills that I can get some ground moved somewhere. So I'll let you guys know. But just know that, sometimes these kind of road bumps happen. I know that for a lot of you guys, it's taken a lot of time to get ungated in these things, and I apologize for that. Austin and I are in a similar boat with our coffee product, but keep an optimistic mindset, and I'm staying optimistic, and I know that we'll figure out something. No problems last forever. You'll always find a way to get around them. Okay, let's see what's next here. Did we have any other questions come up? Okay, let me look. Stores. Yeah, go ahead and drop any other questions that you guys have in. I'm going to take some more from the Facebook group here. Let's see. Oh, okay. Dev Shapiro, how you doing? Quick question. I'm joining late. What is the best site with course/paid information on this? I am looking to set up a business for my son selling on Amazon. Yeah, so I'm guessing you're not a Simple Product Profits Platinum member yet. So if you want to go to simpleproductprofits.com/Amazon workshop and check that out. I could actually probably drop that to you here. Let me see if I can do it. There you go. Okay, so let's see. Who's next here? Tried it yesterday. Okay, so Dita said she tried the Mayday thing and it didn't work for her. Which way did you do it? Did you do it via email or did you do it via phone? I'm not afraid to do it via phone. I'll get on there with the rep and I'll be like, Mayday.
Yeah, and Dita, question.
Oh, you got a little feedback, Austin. She said that she did it. She said that she did it via phone. We'll try email then. We did it. We did it. We personally already have done it, and we did it in our case. So our case was open, and we put it in there. Oh, sorry. Is that Vera? Monica V? I think that's Vera. I remembered seeing your question, and I missed it. My bad. Let me go back up. Generally, what size stickers are used for the FN SKU? Basically, what you want to do, I'll drop you a link. There's this Amazon guidelines inside of the Seller Central little information thing. There's guidelines for how big that they have to be, but generally, what they want is that they don't want them to cover up any specific details on your bottle. They need to cover up the UPC code, and then they need to be printed. They prefer laser jet printers so that the ink doesn't smudge. But if you drop us an email, I'll give you I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I have them in a little file. So drop us an email to sppplatinum@gmail.com, and then I'll send you those, the little link to the document that has those dimensions on it. But basically, you just need to have it cover the UPC code. You don't need to have it like this huge big sticker, and it needs to be scannable, and it needs to not smudge. So prefer people have been printing on ink, but it's risky because the ink could smudge, and then they can't scan it, and then it's going to cause issues for you. So that's the answer to that. Dito, we'll try in my response within the case today and let you know. Okay. Yeah, we've already done the Mayday thing inside of our account, inside of our case currently. So what I'm going to do is they haven't responded to it. It's almost been a week. We did this last Friday, so tomorrow will be a week. But I think I'm going to take the initiative and just call them today and just go through the motions and just keep on chugging away with them and break some ground somewhere. Okay, let's go back. We have about we'll do about 10 more minutes here. So any other questions that you guys have, go ahead and drop them in. By the way, do you know what they mean by that within Amazon? No. So basically, like I said, this was brought up to us by another member in our Simple Product Profits group. I believe it was Mary Lee, but basically what she said was she met this Amazon employee that said to do that, and she basically said that the Amazon employee said that it was some sort of like code within Amazon that basically means that they have to get other departments involved, and it's like this big process that Amazon doesn't really want to go through. It's some code word that means that they have to get additional departments to do some weird thing, like help on the case or something like that. So basically, it's something that they don't really want to do. At least to my knowledge, that's what it means. I've never heard of it anywhere else in any other sellers doing it before. It's just it worked for her. I mean, she was trying to get approved for a month straight, couldn't get approved. Then put that in her case in the email, in the little thing that you can add to your case, and then she got approved right away. So it's definitely worth a shot doing that. All right, back to the email here. Let's check, the Facebook. Let's see. We'll take a couple more questions. Anybody that wants to drop last minute questions into the group. I actually want to give a shout out to a few people that have been crushing it. Where'd it go? I just had it on here. Shout out to Vera for getting your product up and running. That's awesome. I want to do a shout out to Alan for getting his product up. Shout out to Mike Lively for getting his product up. Congrats, guys. Shout out to Jake, who's crushing it out there with his product. He's had it up for about a month and a half or so, I believe, and he's just been rocking it. So congrats to him. I want to give a shout out to Maria. Maria has been crushing it with her product as well. So congrats to Maria. These are all people that have posted either emails to us or in the group. There was one more. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Jenny too. Jenny's been crushing it with her product too, which is absolutely awesome. So shout out to Jenny as well. So those are some shout outs for you guys. Shout out to Ruth too. Ruth has been Ruth just got up and running. She's made a couple organic sales already, so she's doing awesome. Let's see. Oh, I'll take a couple of these. Oh, Austin has a poor. Oh, it said poor internet signal for a minute, but it came back on. Susan, what is the average time frame between beginning and launch day on Amazon for sale? Yeah, that's going to depend on everybody's individual situation, right? So, for example, we've had a few people that have got their product up and running within a couple weeks. I mean, the Jake guy that I just talked about did that. A few other people have gotten their product up and running within 2 or 3 weeks' time between just starting and then actually getting it live and for sale on Amazon. There's some people that it's been 4 or 5 months and they're just coming up with their idea. It doesn't. It's to me, it's not a race against anybody. It's making sure that you have the right product. You're good with selling it. And just making sure that that's the product you want to sell. Sometimes some people just take action on it. They're just like, get the product up, get it selling, get it going. Some people want to be more methodical with it. And I'm not saying either way is wrong. There's different reasons. Some people have things that come up in their life that kind of hinder them from starting stuff. So it's going to take them longer too. So I would say that it's not a race against anybody. It's just a race against yourself. One thing that I will say is don't let anything stop you from moving forward. Sometimes we can tell ourselves excuses. We can give ourselves excuses, or we can not follow our own deadlines and things of that nature. And you could say, oh, I'm having trouble finding a product, even though maybe you've had 3 ideas and you just haven't been able to pull the trigger, right? You want to the best way to get the product up and running in a timely manner is set deadlines for yourself, right? So say, okay, by this day on this month, by that day, I need to have my product selected. By this day, I need to have the supplier picked out. By this day, I need to be up and live on Amazon, right? Have those deadlines for yourself and make sure that they are within reason, right? You don't want to say, I'm going to have my product selected in 2 days. I'm going to have my supplier selected in 2 days. And I'm going to have it up and live on Amazon in 2 more days and within a week, because it's unrealistic, right? You got to make sure you put the research and the time in. So that's my answer to that, the long-winded version of that. Just make sure you set deadlines for yourself. It's all going to depend on how much time you have to devote to doing research and doing all that stuff. But remember, as long as you're doing something that's going to move you 1% forward every single day, do one thing that's going to move you 1% forward, then that's all you can ask of yourself. And if it's, one day you move yourself 20% forward, then that's awesome. But always just make sure you're doing one thing to move yourself forward. All right. I actually had a couple things here in the Facebook group. Let's see. Somebody asked ASIN inspector, or I don't know how you say that. Is it either ASIN inspector or AS inspector? I guess you can. I guess it's ASIN inspector versus Jungle Scout. Which do members prefer? To me, I prefer Jungle Scout just because to me the software is much easier to use. It has a better interface. We've used it for quite some time, and it's never given us any issues. It's always given us pretty accurate information. I like that Google Chrome extension that they have. That's pretty nifty. And they overall give you good information, and it's easy to use too. So I say Jungle Scout. I've played around with Ace Inspector before, but I've preferred Jungle Scout just for its ease of use in general. Somebody asked about 3D rendering images too. Basically, the best way to do this, try to get them from your supplier. And if you can't get them from your supplier, then what you can do is you can actually either get your supplier to take images for you, or get the product sent to you and you take images of them, and then you can send them to somebody on, say, Fiverr or Elance or something like that, and they could make 3D rendered versions of photographs. It's made using a software. So so that's the answer to that question. Let's see here. Oh, oops, there we go. We got one in here. I can be unrealistic at times. LOL. I have time at this time. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I feel like everybody is like that to a certain extent. You start something and then you want to get it done right away. You want to jump into it. You want to get it up and running, and you're excited about it, and that's perfectly normal. But just give yourself realistic deadlines. I would say if you have a good amount of time, you could really pick your product in a week. I really do think you could. If you spent a couple hours every day doing research, then I think that within a week, if not a week and a half, you could definitely narrow down to a certain product that you want to sell, or at least down to 2 or 3 ideas. And then after that, looking at suppliers, I really do think that you can get that done within a week and a half too, if you really devoted yourself. And remember, you could always send us emails if you want our opinion on it and need help. And then depending on if you're in going overseas or in the United States, overseas, just expect it to be between 2 to 4 weeks to get the product into the United States. Sometimes it's on the lower, sometimes it's on the higher. It just depends. But just devote that amount of time. If you're in the United States, then you can go between it could be as fast as 2 days, and it could be as slow as a week. It just depends on the supplier. So add all of that up, and then you'll have about when you'll be able to do that. Austin, go ahead.
All I wanted to add to that was some feedback. Hold on. All I wanted to add to that was the search tools up front, like Jungle Scout and ACE and Inspector. They will help dramatically speed up that upfront time of finding a product, because you can qualify or disqualify products but much faster, because that gives you real world validation about, this product is selling this much on a given day. That's all I was going to add.
Right. Okay. Had an idea in pet products, but then saw another member had something very similar. I abandoned the product idea because I did not want to compete. Any advice regarding how not to compete with one another in the group? Should I have abandoned the idea or just go with it? Yeah. So Michelle, is that who that was? I think so. Yeah. So here's the thing. This is actually a good topic of conversation here. I blocked my camera. There's never not. Oh, Austin, you're calling somebody.
No, somebody calling in on my Bluetooth. I killed it. Go ahead.
There's never not going to be competition, right? So if you go into a product, we actually don't recommend you go into a product with no competition, just for the fact that it means that nobody has seen value in selling that product, and you don't know if there's a market for it or not. So we've had people that have said, "Oh, there's nobody selling this product. I could be the only one selling it." And I'll say, "Yeah, but because you're the only one selling it, that probably means that there's not really a market for it, right? Especially on Amazon." So what we do is we go into products where there are competition, so that we know that there's demand, we know that there's sales volume, we know that people want this product and there's people buying it on Amazon. Yeah, exactly. Spencer says no one to mimic. Yep, because it's like I say all the time, guys, it's all about modeling after other successful people. So we show you in the course, if you remember, how to go and look at people who are already successful in the product that you're interested in going into. And then we look at different ways that they can, that you can differentiate yourself from that person. So you could do similar things. You can model after their success, but you can do things that are going to differentiate yourself from that person. For example, I'll just do an easy example. There's Coca-Cola and there's Pepsi, right? They're both the same soda, basically, right? But some people prefer Coke and some people prefer Pepsi. What is it that differentiates Pepsi from Coca-Cola? Well, a lot of people can say It's the taste. That Coca-Cola tastes a little bit different. Pepsi's a little bit sweeter. Maybe people are more attracted to the blue label than the red label, and other people are attracted to the red label, not the blue label. People like Coca-Cola as a name better, and some people like Pepsi as a name better, and some people like the branding of Pepsi. It's just, there's so many little things that go into a buying decision for a customer, right? That just because somebody else is doing, is selling that product, but to take it a step further, maybe they're doing really well with that. That doesn't mean that there's not any way that you can differentiate yourself to cater to those customers and get sales and build a good business. This is the reason why I recommend that you guys go to your competition for a product that you're interested in. Go and look at all their reviews. I recommend going to all of their reviews and looking. So they're 5-star reviews, they're good reviews, and they're 2- and 1-star reviews too. And what you're going to see is, what do people like about the product, right? What are they saying good about the product? And then what are they saying bad? So when they say the good stuff, they're going to say what they like. What are the things that they're doing the right way? And then the bad reviews, they're going to say, what are these guys doing wrong? Is there a certain ingredient that they're missing that should be vital? Is the packaging bad? And there's probably a ton of different things and it's going to depend on the product. But basically what you can do is you can see what they're doing right, you can see what they're doing wrong, and you can do the stuff that they're doing right, and you can also fix the things that they're doing wrong and kind of give the market what they want. I mean, the research that you can do on Amazon from a market standpoint, I mean, back before Amazon existed, companies would pay millions of dollars to have this information. They really would. You'd see customers go and survey the market and do all these huge $1 million surveys of customers and stuff just to get this information that Amazon has on their platform for free in the reviews of all of your competition. So basically, that was a long-winded answer, but to get back to your actual question, if you should just go with the idea or not, I'll say this. There might be somebody else in the group selling it. What I will say is that if not going with this idea, if you truly see the opportunity in this idea, and I don't know what your product idea is, but if you truly see the opportunity in this, and you see that there's value in getting into this market and selling this product, and competing against this other seller in our group is holding you back from starting your business, then I would highly consider just running with it. What I would probably do is I would spend like maybe a week or two researching other product ideas. And then if you can't find anything else that's a better opportunity or the same amount of opportunity than this one that you're looking at, if you can't find anything, then run with it. Competition is healthy. Jeremy, is Austin your Secret Service detail? He's so quiet. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, he's actually on the road, and also, so what he had to do is he had to hotspot his phone, and then he had to use his phone as Wi-Fi to feed his computer. So I think that his connection, obviously, you can see right now it says poor internet signal. He's not having very good connectability doing that. No problem. Absolutely. Thank you, Jeremy. Great advice. Yeah, no problem. Let's see here. Leland, you've just committed this is to Austin. I think this is funny. You've just committed 2 major live stream faux pas. 1, you're driving while live streaming. 2, you just showed a copyright brand in a live stream. I didn't see that. What brand was it? Oh, it was Mickey D's. Uh-oh, is that a faux pas? Maybe we're sponsored by McDonald's. Who knows, right? This is maybe this is discreet product placement.
It's product placement. You got being paid. Funny.
I don't endorse the consumption of McDonald's. I don't or do or whatever. But that was funny.
That's pretty funny.
Thank you for the advice. Okay. Norma, I was trying to remember who that was. Norma Jean has another question here. I have a last question for the online wholesale store thought. I found one with a warehouse nearby. Can I go there and just buy something? Will the invoice they give me work? Yes, that will work. What you'd have to do basically, that would be actually pretty cool to do, is you can go down there. There's two options. Number one, you can get the invoices from them directly. It might be highly beneficial for you to just maybe explain the situation to them, not tell them that you're basically using them to get ungated, but just kind of telling them, oh, hey, I'm using these invoices to get ungated, and have them give you 3 separate ones and space out the dates and stuff. It'll be a lot easier to do that in person. And then what you'll have to do is you'll get those invoices. You'll have to do one of two things. Amazon is kind of they say that you can take pictures of the invoices and then upload them as JPEG files. But I've seen them deny people because they were taking pictures, which makes no sense. So basically what I would do is I would get those invoices, take images of them, and then submit them as JPEGs. And then if that doesn't work, then submit them as PDFs. I've actually seen that they have been preferring PDF files. So maybe perhaps scan them into a computer and then upload them as PDFs first, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That might be the way to go, is do PDFs first, because I've seen that they've actually preferred that. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Thank you for the question. Spencer, I've just drained all the Mickey D's cups off Amazon. Betsy here. How you doing, Betsy? About Jungle Scout. Looking at numbers on the app versus tracking individual products. How to assess when the numbers vary when researching a product? Are numbers inflated? That's a good question. I found that I haven't found that they're quote unquote like inflated, because it's hard to be able to really tell accurate numbers unless you actually can see the data within Amazon. You like work there or something. What I would do is, if you're getting different numbers from different places, just average them out and take like an average of the sum of the numbers, So the best thing that you can do, none of these research tools, guys, Jungle Scout and all this stuff, none of it is completely accurate, right? They are using a formula that they've developed based on rankings and stuff like that. So they see the Amazon rank in the category. And remember, different ranks and different categories are going to relay different results. So if I'm ranked 1,000 in health and personal care, I might be selling more product than if I'm ranked number 100 in scientific and industrial, right? I'm probably making more money ranked farther back in health and personal care, because it's a bigger category. So yeah, it's not an exact science. I would average out the two numbers if you're getting two different ones, and just say this is approximate what they're selling. And that's the best way to do it, Betsy. Good to see you. Okay, just 1 second here. Austin, you want to add anything to that while I get this real quick?
Well, I don't want to commit any any faux pas of talking on a live stream here. I'm kidding. I would add that what you just said was absolutely correct. They've created their own formulas, things like that. I want to go back to the question where we were talking about, should I compete in a product because a member is already selling in there? I'll remind you of something, guys. Any category you go look at selling on Amazon, pet products, dog treats, supplements, and you look at how many sellers are selling, say, dog treats. There's probably 40,000 sellers selling different dog treat products. So the fact that we have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people in our group selling dog treats is not really, it's frankly irrelevant. So if you're seeing good data on something, don't worry about the fact that one of our members is selling it. Again, I think somebody said, go where the success is. That's what we teach you. Go where the success is. So that's what I would add. Back to you, Jerry.
Cool. Let's see here. Is the exact wording I'm going to open a Mayhem. No, it's Mayday, not Mayhem. Mayday. Resubmitting with this right now. We'll let people know if it works, of course. Yeah, and Norma Jean, when I get off the phone with Amazon, and go to war with them for a little bit, I'll let you know any additional details. I'll let everybody know any additional details. What does variation theme? I'll give this to you, Austin, so I can go and check something real quick. What does variation theme mean in Seller Central account when setting up your listings?
Variation theme?
Yeah, variation theme.
I have to say I'm not sure what we're talking about. I've never heard that specific.
I think what she's talking about is setting up different variations for the product. So if it's a different color, a different size.
Oh, yeah, that's what it. Yeah, I thought you said variation theme, like the theme of a party. That's what I thought you said. What does variation mean? Okay, you've answered
theme.
It.
That's what.
Okay, variations are different colors or different variations on a product. That's what it means. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Yeah, no, that's how I see it too. Is variation. Yeah, it means color. Yeah, that's it. Betsy just dropped it in too. It means color and size, and color, size, or color and size. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if you have different colors, different sizes, different variations, like there's different things too. Like you can have different variations in design and stuff like that. That's what it means exactly.
Like for us, a variation for us could be a 12-ounce bag and a 16-ounce bag. Different variations could be.
Yeah, exactly. Like if we were selling different size bags on the same listing, that's how that works. Did you mention Leslie? Okay. Did you mention early on that jewelry is not a good category? So here's how I see jewelry. Jewelry can be one of those iffy categories. Here's the reason why. If I were to sell in jewelry, and I personally know people that are doing well in jewelry, but here's the reason why we typically don't recommend it, but here's one other reason why it could do good if you do things smart, right? So the reason why we usually typically say no to jewelry is because of how many different variations you can have. So you can have a ring, and the ring can be in green, blue, red, orange, yellow, etc., black, white. And you can by doing that, you can get yourself caught in a lot of inventory, right? You can have a lot of inventory that you're starting off with just to have these, all these different colors and these different design variations and things like that. So what I would say is if you're okay with starting with a lot of inventory to start off with, then go for it. I mean, if jewelry is your thing, if jewelry is what you are interested in and stuff like that, then absolutely. One thing I'll mention that if you don't want to start with a ton of inventory, then what I would do is I would try to find a piece of jewelry or a design or something in the jewelry category that is universally it's something that appeals to a mass amount of people, right? So if that's you do some research and you find that on Amazon jewelry that typically is black sells better, or is a basic design. I don't know. It's but you know what I'm saying is if you find a piece of jewelry that is mass appeal to women, or I don't know if men buy jewelry, but I guess they buy it for women. But if you find something that has mass appeal, then you could start with little inventory because you're selling something that has mass appeal. You don't have to worry about variations. But a lot of people that go into jewelry usually buy so much inventory because they have to have those different variations. Leslie, what I'm thinking of does not have any variation in size or color. All right, perfect. Yeah, then if it has mass appeal, I would do some research on Amazon too, because remember, part of our program is looking at how much of that specific thing is selling on Amazon too. That's one of the criteria. So take a look. I mean, it doesn't have to be the exact piece of jewelry that you're selling, but look at pieces of jewelry that are similar to what you're selling, and then go in there and see, hey, what are they ranked on Amazon? How many reviews do they have? And kind of run pieces of jewelry that are similar to what you want to sell. Run it through our criteria in the course, and then come up with a decision at that point. That's my advice to you. But if you found something that it passes course criteria, all right, cool. Then Leslie, I say I give it the thumbs up, the Jeremy Sandow stamp of approval. No problem, Leslie. Happy to help. All right, guys. I think we're gonna go ahead and sign off for today. One thing that we like to do on the Blabs is if anybody wants to come on as a guest in the little video, real quick. We've had somebody do that every single time, and it's kind of a cool thing to do. So if you want to come in the little open seat, you just hit the open seat and request to be on here, and then we can okay you, and then you can come on and say a couple words or something or whatever you want to do. We like to do that at the end of these. So if you want to do that, go ahead and hit that open seat right below me and Austin there. If not, we'll give you about 60 seconds to do that for anybody that wants to. If not, then I appreciate you guys coming on board here. I hope you guys got a lot of value. We did cover a lot of information on here. So we covered a lot of ground. So I'm happy we were able to answer everybody's questions. Once again, if you have any questions that come up, in between now and the next Q&A. By the way, we have a member-only webinar tomorrow, too, at the same time. So if you have questions between now and then of course, you can ask them on the members-only webinar. But if you have any questions in general, feel free to shoot them, sppplatinum@gmail.com. We'll be happy to answer them. Or you can hit us up in the Facebook group. If you have something that specifically needs to be asked to us, then you could tag either me, Austin, or Mary in the post. Looks like we don't. Nobody wants to be a special guest today. That's lame. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and sign off. Appreciate you, Austin. The technology worked pretty good for you being in the car. That was actually pretty nifty.
I know. I'm actually shocked, man. This is really cool. I mean, I'm really driving an hour in the middle of God's country out here in Texas. It's pretty cool.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Norma Jean, Mike, everybody who is here right now. Appreciate you guys, and feel free to shout out and let us know how you're doing. All right, guys. Talk to you later.